Good morning. Welcome to Bahai's Today. I'm Sagar Bhatia, your host for this new show on Studio 21, brought to you by the Bahai community of Radnor. This program will focus on initiating a conversation on social change and community building. There will be a series of new talks regularly with guests from the Bahai community who will share with us their experiences on this journey of making the world a better place for all of us. Today we have with us two talented young women who are here to share something called the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program. Welcome to Bahai's Today, Anisa and Ariana.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
I'm Ariana, and I'm a junior at Radnor High School, and I'm an active Bahai youth in the community of Radnor.
I'm Anisa. I'm a senior at Conestoga High School. I'm an active Bahai youth in the Tradifin Easttown Township Bahai community, and we're here to talk about, as you said, the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program.
So what is this Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program?
So in neighborhoods all around the world, young people aged 12 to 15, they gather for this Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program. And basically its goal is for them to harden and develop their intellectual capabilities and their spiritual qualities through like artistic expression or storytelling. Honestly, there's so many different types of things we do. We'll get to that later. But some of this includes
Snacks, of course.
Lots of food. But it's kind of just a safe space to get away from your everyday stresses, right? And it's with people that you can count on and trust.
So basically, the entirety of the Junior Spiritual Empowerment Program rests on middle schoolers, so 12 to 15. And they go through a course of books. The first is Breezes of Confirmation, and it's a storytelling book. So it follows a girl named Musanda, and in her journey of trying to find what she wants to do with her life and her career. She wants to become a nurse. So each story develops how she makes that a reality and how she looks at the world through what she's been giving. So the middle schoolers read about these stories, and they, at the end, are asked questions. They do skits based on what they just read. And it's them having also a conversation with their peers about the meaningful conversations that are happening in their lives. So I know that in middle school, it's a little bit difficult to make like purposeful and meaningful bonds.
Yeah.
And this kind of allows that safe space. But at the same time, it's a service group. So you go out and you do projects in your local food center or your soup kitchen. We raked leaves. But at the same time, we also have another degree where they're children's classes. So the people or the kids aged below 12 to 15 have their children's classes. And these classes rests on virtues, so learning about kindness and trustworthiness. And at that age, it's more of like a molding factor of when you're really building your qualities. So when you're done your children's classes, you go to the junior youth class. And that junior youth class emphasizes what you want to do with your life and how you're serving your community. But again, at the same time, there's a youth class. So they're for kids above age 15, 15 to 30 actually. But what's meant for that class to happen is that they're supposed to be tutors. So they're tutored in the books for the junior youth. And then they in turn tutor the junior youth themselves. So the animator or the facilitator, the tutor of the junior youth group, is just a person a couple years older than them. And then for the parents, there's a devotional and what we call a ruhi institution process. And it's, again, the parents being involved in their own community and with their kids who are in the other programs. And they're all coming together to try to think about their community and how to improve it. So in that way, it's an intergenerational, and it really emphasized the importance of community and having everybody involved.
A big part of these junior youth, the idea of this junior youth group is that it is the bridge to your youthhood, becoming an actual youth and learning who you want to be exactly, what do you want to become. It helps you to harden those qualities of the person you strive to be.
Yeah.
So help us understand how this junior youth group is structured. Like, is there a leader or a facilitator? How does that work?
So yes and no. What we call a facilitator or a tutor We call them an animator because they're supposed to
nice
animate
word.
the group. Yeah, they're supposed to animate the group. And animate actually comes from the Latin phrase animora, I think, and it means to give liveliness and to bring out the progress and the development of the youth. So in that way, it's not a formal teacher. They don't instruct you like school. And again, they're just a few years older than you, but they're meant to guide the conversation. Because at that age, a lot of people can be rowdy. 12 to 15 is kind of a tumultuous time period where everybody's really energized. So the animator is supposed to sit down with them and kind of guide the discussion and guide where they want to go to help promote these meaningful conversations.
I think the beauty in that is that these young adults, I'd call them, are solely there for the purpose that they want these kids to have the same wonderful experiences they once had when they were junior youth. So they go through these books to train and to be able to teach what they were taught. And it's a cycle.
Can you share with us, like, what are some personal experiences that you had with this group?
Yeah, of course. So our group, my group, we started as the children's class, and then we worked up to the junior youth and then the youth group. In the junior youth group, I must say, I think I was a little younger than I should have, but my brother is 3 years older, so I just kind of piggybacked off what he was doing. So we had our neighborhood friends come together, and it was honestly a really amazing experience, as it was a way to get away from the stress of life. So it was after school on Fridays, after a long week, and we just sat down and we had these really fun conversations, and a lot of times we got very sidetracked, so it lasted way longer than it should have. But it was an amazing experience, because I think that the junior youth program doesn't run necessarily on the stories that I was talking about in the books, but they run on the discussions that you have with your peers and what you learn from them.
I'd say that, so my group, we also met on Fridays. It was a group in Villanova, and there were kids from all different backgrounds, some Baha'is, some non-Baha'is, all different religions, and we all became very close. And I think that, so we'd start off with food.
Of course.
And then we'd usually, depends on how we were feeling, we'd play a game, or we'd just sit and all talk, and then we'd more get into discussion. It's a very informal, yet structured curriculum sort of thing.
Yeah, so also going back to that, even after the junior youth and after we studied, but not really. When my brother got old enough to drive, he would take us to mini golfing courses and laser tag. So it was also a way to really meaningfully bond with other people your age. And I'm still in touch with everyone from my group, even though they're
social skills.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, they're all in college, and one is in London. But I mean, we're still so close, and we still get together on the weekends and in the summers.
So you mentioned something about a community project, or doing something related to service. Can you elaborate on that? How does that work in a junior youth group? Because I know the participants are young adults, so they cannot just go out in the field and start doing a project. So how does that work in the group?
So I'd say, towards the beginning, for a new group, sometimes it's hard. The kids don't really know how they want to help in their own way. So as Anisa mentioned, the animator is there to direct the group. They don't talk at you like a teacher would. They sit with you and they help you. So I'd say in the beginning of a group, the animator would help give ideas of different service projects. But for my group, at least, as we developed together, we were able to discover how we wanted to help in our own way. For example, and we also have connections, so those are great, because one of the girls in our group, her mom was she helped out at this nonprofit organization, which helped to feed the homeless, and it's called the Manna Food Center. So we decided to all go there for a day, and what we did is we cooked the food and we served it to them, and I think we all really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so going off of that, what we did in our own junior youth group was we went out and wanted to see what the community needed. So in our local nature preserve, we planted trees and raked leaves for my brother's piano teacher, who was getting old and who couldn't do that stuff herself. But at the same time, we would ask Acme if we could go and we could stand outside the supermarket and ask people if they could donate canned foods when they were coming out. And each time we would get 500 to 700 pounds.
What?
Well, yes, but it seems maybe insignificant in the long run.
Yeah.
But if you're a 12 to 15-year-old and you get that much food and it's visible and you're dropping it off, it really helps kind of improve the sense of community and what you can contribute to it. I teach a junior youth or animated junior youth group in Westchester, and the kids really wanted to help the homeless. So they got toothpaste, toothbrushes, bars, and created little kits, and that's what they're doing. So it's just a really awesome way to kind of see what your community needs and help with that. I helped with a Westchester junior youth empowerment program, and they saw that there was a lot of trash in their rec center. So they went out and they cleaned up the trash. And so what's important is, just like the animator, you're supposed to direct what is possible, but also analyze what the needs are.
Yeah.
I think as we mentioned before, a really big part of this program is service, and I think it teaches these kids really how impactful service can be, not only on other people but also just as much yourself. And I think that that concept is not really learned until it is experienced.
Correct. Yeah.
So that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So these projects, or as you call service projects, are they like randomly chosen, or the group decides on itself, or the animator would assign the group what they have to do?
So we kind of already mentioned it's never set straight like that, but the kids will probably decide as they move along through their journey, as we would call it, and seek the weaknesses in their community and try and what would be direct help towards those weaknesses. But animators are, they're a little smarter, they're a little older, more mature, so they can also definitely give ideas to the group.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea of this program, and it's a global program, so it's not just in Westchester or in Philadelphia or in Tredyffrin or Radnor. It's started in Columbia, and it's worldwide. So each community has different needs.
Right.
And the main point of the Junior Youth Empowerment Program is to kind of analyze both like the negative and the positive forces of their lives and contribute to the positive ones and help build those and their moral qualities.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
So how did it impact your lives on a personal level?
So that's a great question. I think for me, junior youth, these groups helped me to see who I wanted to become, as I mentioned, when I'm a youth, because there are a lot of influences every day that you don't know, you don't know who you are yet.
Yeah.
And I think that it helps you take it good and count your blessings type of thing,
take control of your own life.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it helped. I love being a youth. And
Yeah, I don't think I would be the same person I am today if it weren't for the Junior Youth Program. Again, middle school age is such a strange time period because on the one point there's a lot of peer pressure to do things that aren't necessarily the best. But on the other hand, you're free to do a lot because you're not paying house mortgages or taxes or you don't have to have a job when you're older. You can be a kid. And what you do with that free time is can be really impactful or really negative. Impactful in a positive way. So with my group, again, as I mentioned, it was a way away from stress. So I knew I always had this group to go to and to really be friends with. And we all came from different backgrounds and different races, different religions, pretty much everything, different grades. And it was also a way of diversity, coming together in a diverse perspective, but also a global perspective of like helping the world and helping give back. Community building is something that needs to be done, and by the youth, by the young people, because they're the future, and it just...
And that's the truth.
That's the truth. So that sounds really wonderful that you were involved with the adults who were guiding you and also helping you to navigate the path. Are there any examples or stories that you would like to share with us on how like one of these service projects happened?
So we actually had a bunch of different animators come to our junior youth group. There was a woman named Candace, and she was in college. And this revolving door of like people who come in from different backgrounds and who teach you and who animate the group is really wonderful, because it's not just one person. Like, it wasn't my mom for 15 years. It was people from like Swarthmore and from who had just graduated high school and from high school as well. So it was just really awesome to have this diverse perspective of not only the students, but also the animators.
You mentioned talking with adults, and that just reminded me of how we didn't mention maturity levels. You can see kids who start a group, and once they go through, you can sit them down and we can have a meaningful conversation. It helps. I feel much more mature, and I don't think I could have gotten that level of maturity not have gotten through this spiritual program.
And teaching my own junior youth group, it's really an interesting experience, because you have all these very rowdy kids in the beginning who just don't know what's happening, and then after a few months you sit them down, you're learning from them, and they're learning from their peers, and they calm down and they settle down and they start having these conversations that make them grow as a person.
That's true. So since we're getting to the end, is there something you would like to share with our viewers, especially the young folks out there? One message that you would want to give them before we sign off?
So I would say, if you have the opportunity to be involved in the Junior Youth Empowerment Program, absolutely do it. Because in the end, the future is on the kids and the kids of this world rather than the adults. And being a part of your community and learning that at a young age is really, really important. So reach out to your local community and see what's going on. And get some friends, get your neighborhood friends. Tell them, hey, we're going to have a group this Friday. It's going to be wonderful and amazing, and we're going to contribute a lot. And that's what I would say.
I would 100% encourage, as Anisa said, try and find a group, start your own, or just help out your community in your own way. And I think that we know this can make people uncomfortable, but uncomfort and getting out of your comfort zone is definitely the first step to self-growth and growing for everyone around you. So I'd say be bold and
everybody has
make a change.
Everybody has a diverse perspective and a diverse talent, and everybody has a way that they can contribute.
That sounds so profound.
Thank you.
I'm amazed by the talks that I'm having with you guys here, and I'm sure the viewers are also being entertained.
So we have a video.
Oh, really?
About a junior youth empowerment program in
Australia.
Brisbane. And it talks about service and what it means to them as they go through this course.
Wow.
So, do you want to cut to the video?
Sure. So that's all for today. Hope you liked this conversation on empowering our junior youth. You can visit the website www.mainlinebahais.org for more information. But stay tuned for a video that they want to share with us tonight. Thank you.
My name's Anisa. I'm Alex Talkington.
My name's Rochella.
Hi, I'm Nathan Jones.
My name's Connor.
I'm Lachlan.
Kian.
Julia. Daniel.
Collide. Kian.
And I've been animating.
And I've been part of the
Part of the Brookfield JY group.
Just a bit over 4 years.
1 year now.
and I've been animating for about 2 years.
We are a kind of service committee, and we help other people.
To me, service really means helping those around you in need selflessly.
Service is to help other people without wanting anything in return.
To me, service is to be a Bahai and to love Baha'u'llah.
Give to other people who need it, but still try to help the people who don't need as much.
For me, it means when you contribute
To the betterment of your community.
And you don't expect anything back from them.
When you serve, you're really filled with this great sense of love and joy.
Service for me is an opportunity to give back to the community who help foster my growth.
That's really extraordinary and incredibly gratifying.
My favourite service project is to expand because you get to meet new people.
Our goal for the service project was to increase a greater sense of community and togetherness in the neighbourhood.
About a year ago, we made a garden.
I really enjoyed the car wash service project. We brainstormed and we made posters and we put them up before the car wash to tell people about it.
We had different roles. Some people would be in charge of watering them, and they were in charge of different plants. So some people would have strawberries, I think were one, and I was in charge of the onions.
It was to find out what people thought about their community and what was needed to improve the sense of community.
During the service project, I made lots of new friends and met lots of new faces and had an overall really good time.
After a couple of weeks, the plant went from a tiny little seed to something big, and it was quite amazing just to watch how it basically grew from nothing.
We got to wash people's cars and raise money for the Cancer Council, but at the same time it gave us an opportunity to talk to the people about the empowerment program and what service means to us while they were waiting.
Junior youth, aged 12 to 15, experience a unique period in their lives while they transition from childhood to adulthood. During this period, they gain a new level of awareness and consciousness, an acute sense of justice, and a whole lot of energy. Many of the ideas about the individual and society that I personally developed as a junior youth have very well shaped my life and still remain with me today. In neighbourhoods around the world, the Junior Youth Spiritual Empowerment Program takes many forms, all with the common purpose of enabling JY to develop their spiritual qualities, their intellectual capabilities, and their capacity to serve society.